Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, April the 22nd, 2024, and this is a big week. We're going to have a full moon in Scorpio, and communication Mercury is turning direct once again. So on Monday, the moon that always sets the public tone, the public reaction, will be in Libra. Libra is cooperative, it's sociable, it wants more harmony. The moon, however, will be in opposition or confrontation to relational Venus, and Venus is the ruler of Libra, around 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Now, if moon was in harmony with Venus, there would be a lot of enjoyment and peace and love. But since they're in confrontation, there's a certain amount of frustration of not getting your emotional needs met. But this too shall pass from 4 to 5 p.m. Then the moon is going void, of course, 4:25 p.m. Pacific time into Tuesday at 8:21 a.m. Pacific time. Again, the void, of course, stay the course, stick to your routine, but important not to do anything new. That's important, especially with Mercury still retrograde. On Tuesday at 8:21 a.m. Pacific time, the moon leaves sociable Libra and goes into more intense private Scorpio. And later in the day will be the peak of the full moon in Scorpio. Full moon brings a lot of things out into the open to be revealed. It often will test relationships. Now, this full moon is going to be in a hard angle with Pluto. Pluto is actually the ruling planet for Scorpio. That full moon and in hard angle to Pluto, and Mercury is slowing down as yet to go direct, relationships could be tested, could be a lot of letting go. The positive, because it's just energy and you want to work with it, is to do counseling, that Scorpio, an astrology reading, that Scorpio, to bring more insight into what needs to be fixed, if anything, in your relationship. On Wednesday, the moon continues in passionate Scorpio, but in the late afternoon, 4-5 p.m. Pacific time, the moon will be in harmony with business pragmatic Saturn. So this moon Saturn, you're feeling secure, you're feeling grounded. It's good for accomplishing projects or accomplishing a lot more work on existing projects, but you certainly don't want to start any important new projects. And on Thursday, the 25th, communication Mercury now begins to move forwards. However, it is at a standstill. If you could look through a high-powered telescope, you would see that Mercury is moving ever so slowly because it came to a stop the day before, going retrograde stop, now it's going direct. Mercury represents our mental faculties, what we're thinking about, our choices, what we're interested in. And when it's going very slow, think of our mind is still slow or sluggish, or not as quick and as sharp. So the first week or so after the Mercury goes direct, yes, it's moving forwards. It's opening up communications and decision-making better, but your thinking is still a bit slow, meaning it's best for really important major life decisions, give it another week or two. Now, the moon will also go void of course at 4:17 p.m. Pacific time till 6:38 p.m., at which point the moon leaves that more introverted, heavy Scorpio and goes into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Sagittarius is outgoing, adventurous, and friendly. So we're going from maybe a brooding feeling of moon in Scorpio to a more adventurous, outgoing feeling with the moon in Sagittarius. That's for Thursday evening. Friday, the moon continues in Sagittarius, actually through Saturday, but there's no other aspects going on with other planets. Mercury is slowly trying to catch up to speed. Overall, it's a calm day, no big hidden surprises, unless it's something individual for your horoscope. On Saturday, the moon, continuing in friendly, outgoing Sagittarius, nothing much is going on during the day. That's Sagittarius, you may be more physical, playing sports, more adventurous. Late evening Pacific time, the moon will be triggering Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars will be aspecting each other. And Venus and Mars can be very creative energy, but it's often a very passionate energy, very romantic energy. And it's a Saturday night. And the moon are these emotional needs. It's sort of like the public tone. And so on a late Saturday night, certainly Pacific time, it's great for going out dancing, for parties, for a little romance. And on Sunday, the moon is now in Capricorn. With all that playful outgoingness with the moon in Sag, now we wake up Sunday and realize we've got a lot of work to do. We got to prepare for the coming work week. Capricorn is very sensible, practical, organized. But Mars, ambitious Mars, is aligned with Neptune for the day. This would just happen once a year. Now, this Mars, the positive is, because Mars is physical and action-oriented, and Neptune is inspiring and creative and idealistic. Mars-Neptune could be a very favorable day for volunteering, for charity, for helping those in need. On a more creative level, it could be very favorable for dancing, or more physically, with swimming, with yoga. That's the positive. Because you want to avoid the downside of Mars-Neptune is being out of focus, being tired, drained. And if you're feeling this lackluster, no energy, go swimming, go dancing, go help somebody who's in need, and it will help, not only help them, but it will help you. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.